Some people will never invest in their life. You know why? That is just their personality. That is just the kind of person they are. And no matter what you tell them, no matter how inflation eats up their money in their savings accounts, they will rather prefer it to be there and depreciate in value than put their money in any form of investment. That is the kind of person they are. Now, if you know that you are not that kind of person, you really want to invest, but you don't know how, you don't even know where to start, then this video is for you. We're talking about 5 factors, 5 things to consider before you start investing. Quickly, let's jump into it. Number 1 is your risk tolerance. We also call it your risk appetite. You have 3 categories of people when it comes to risk tolerance or risk appetite. Number 1 is the type of people that are risk averse. They don't want to take risk. They don't want to put their money. Those are the kind of people I talked about in our introduction, which is they are risk averse. That's their kind of personality. They would rather prefer their money stay in their bank accounts and they are good to go. They are risk averse. The second kind of people are those who are risk neutral. They can still do something like safe investment. They are so sure and they don't really go into it until they know that everybody around them is doing it. That's the kind of people you see going into treasury bills, FGM bonds, some do real estate. Now we have the third category, which is the risk taker. The risk takers are those who are ready to invest. Once they hear about investment, they quickly learn about it and they move into it because they know that the only way to grow their money is through investments. Those are the risk takers. So, what kind of person are you when it comes to risk tolerance or risk appetite? Are you the risk averse person, the risk neutral, the risk taker? So, answer that question. Number 2, what are your financial goals? What are your financial goals? Some people, it is only for retirement they are planning investments. Those are the kind of people you see that they go into land banking. Some goes into buying shares of companies that they know that are reliable. Now, know your financial goals, and we call it time horizon. Now, we have short term, we have medium term, we have long term. You should have for these 3 categories. For instance, you want to pay your house rent in the next 1 year. You should have short term investment. Don't leave that money in the bank, rather put it in one investment. It is short term. Once you want to do that, for instance, you know that you can't do land banking, you can't even do land flipping. You can't buy shares of companies for short term. Those ones are for long term. It informs your decision to know what kind of investment should you do. Once it is short term, you consider financial assets, not real assets, not real estate, for instance. You don't buy shares because shares is majorly for long term, not for short term gain. If it is medium term, maybe in the next 5 years, in the next 7 years, your son or your daughter will be in the university. So you want to save towards that time. And you know that you can't put the money in the bank. So what are you considering? It means you need to look for medium term investments. If it is now long term, retirement, that's when you think about the investment I've mentioned, land banking, buying shares of company that you know that would have appreciated, because the goal at that point in time is capital appreciation. And when you are getting closer towards your retirement, you need to begin to invest for cash flow, so in order to augment your pension at that point in time, if you are a government worker or you are a private sector worker and you have pension plan in place. So that's the second factor, second thing you need to consider. What are your financial goals? Number 3, what economy or industry should you consider investing into? Which economy should you stay in Nigeria? As a beginner, you need to start from your country. Start from where you are, no matter how bad it is. People are talking about inflation rates being higher than the return on investment. At least it is better than to just have your money being saved in a bank. Having 18%, 19%, 20% from treasury bills investment is better than even banks deducting your money every week or every month through stamp duty, through SMS, whatever charge they come with every month. It's better. Now, when you have considered the economy, which is starting from your economy, then the next thing is which industry? Am I looking at the banking industry? Am I looking at the power industry? Am I looking at the real estate industry? Am I looking at the manufacturing industry? Are you looking at oil and gas? These are the questions to ask. It will help you to know, where am I going to? Where am I putting my money? And if it is another economy, what are the things to consider? You look at the timing. You look at the MPR. We call it monetary policy rates, which determines the interest rates that is prevalent in that economy. You look at the booming or declining. Is the economy booming? Is it declining? That's why when you want to invest, is it UK or US that I should consider? Okay, which currency is doing well? These are the things to consider when you want to invest in foreign economy. If you want to invest in your economy, you also look at the timing. The time to buy also matters a lot. These are the, when you are buying, for instance, you want to buy low so that you can sell at a higher price. You don't buy on the mountain, you buy in the valley so that by the time the price gets to the mountain, you can now sell. You also need to consider, is it for cash flow or capital appreciation? These are what will inform your decision on how well to invest. Don't just jump into investments blindly. What is number 4? Number 4 is you need a steady source of income. We can't overemphasize this because people talk about investment. The goal of investment is to generate passive income. Passive income simply means your money working for you. Your money working as a servant, generating more income for you. But before you can think of passive income, think of active income. Active income is what gives you stability. Passive income is what gives you independence and freedom. You need to understand these terms. Active income gives you stability. Passive income gives you independence and freedom, financial freedom. So you need to understand this. So you first need to be stable before you become independent, and then you talk about financial freedom. So work first on your active income. If your salary is not enough, the goal is not to start investing, because I say investment it should be an habit. But the matter is, what can you invest in? What can you do? When we talk about investment is not only in commodities, it's not only in financial assets, it's not only in real assets. You can invest in a skill, for instance, and you know that once you get this skill, you can get a salary, a high salary job. You can take a certification course, and eventually, instead of earning 200,000 naira monthly, your salary jumps to 500 or to 600. Therefore, you have something extra to show, and you cannot begin to invest. Rather than say you are earning 200,000 naira and you want to be scrimping and saving so that you can invest, that is still investment. That's why you need to get your investment strategy right. It could be investing in your career. It may be investing in a particular skill. It may be investing in a certification so that you can have a higher pay. Don't forget, the goal is still return on investments. You are getting a better return on your investment because you know that once you get that skill, your salary will shoot up. Once you invest in that machine in your business, you get a particular machine, for instance, your business performs better. The growth of your business becomes exponential and no longer linear. I hope you understand. So what is the 5th thing? Diversification. Don't put your eggs in one basket. Don't put your eggs in one basket. Explore. You can start with one, master one, but the goal is to begin to think. So if, for instance, you are only investing in one economy, you can begin to think of, okay, how do I start learning? Don't forget, you can do it yourself. Don't let anybody collect money from you. I will continue to say this in my videos. Learn yourself. Learn to invest yourself. There are so many learning platforms even here on YouTube. I recommend you watch this next video, which is investment is not an emergency. So we meet in our next video. Stay blessed.